So today we will be covering some articles from the last few days, right? That is our discussion. Yes. So the most important news that happened in the last few days is G20. The other one is ASEAN. Anything else? Anything else in the news? Malnutrition. That's in the news. Or articles are there. See, opinions articles are not a measure of what is happening in the news. I can write anything about anything whenever I wish to. So there is no benchmark that I should write only contemporary things. So I hope all of you remember the major takeaways from the G20. Yes or no? We have discussed an exclusive class only for G20. So the old articles will more or less be focused on G20 part. But let's not waste too much time on G20 because it has been covered nicely. Right. Then while G20 is happening side by side bilaterally, India and other countries have started speaking to each other. So it's a common practice to have bilateral talks while some multilateral summits like G20 is happening. BRICS also you go, Russia and India can talk to each other. For example, Xi Jinping and Modi met in BRICS summit. So that has become a bilateral talk between who and who, India and China in the requirement for BRICS. Okay, so like this you have to understand the major discussions. So what are the major issues that Biden and Modi has discussed? There are only two major issues. One is about WTO. Okay, we both decided to work on WTO. In G20 class also we have mentioned about what? WTO. Right. Next is defense agreements. India and USA are working on defense agreements. That means USA is giving us defense technology, we are buying. As most of you know, India always stands in rank number 1 or 2 in context of import of weapons. India is one of the largest buyers of weapons in the world. So that is all there is to that particular article. We don't have to think much about it. In the long run, the cost benefit ratio is very less. Right. So the second article is about ASEAN, that is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Recently, Prime Minister went to the ASEAN meetings. And why is ASEAN important? Indo-Pacific region. Development of Northeast region, ASEAN. In a way, true. Okay, I understand. See, for example, if this is Africa, African coast, okay, all the way till USA. So from the east coast of Africa to the west coast of USA. Okay, this entire region is called as Indo-Pacific. Okay, this is Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean. It has nothing to do with India. This is a natural geographical convergence of Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean. Okay, within this probably India is here. Okay, there is a group of countries called as ASEAN here. Okay, ASEAN are here. Okay, whereas every other country is, you know, the map pointing. Yes or no? Japan is more or less here. South Korea, Japan, China, all these countries are in this particular zone only. Okay, then you have your Australia, New Zealand, and so on and other countries. So the thing is, if you look at the entire map, okay, ASEAN is a very important trade partner. Okay, so because they are more or less located in the center of this entire discussion, okay, it makes ASEAN or Indo-Pacific and ASEAN centric. ASEAN centrality, what we call as ASEAN centrality. So ASEAN becomes a very important thing for what? Trade purposes. Social, cultural and other things we can add, but majorly for what? Trade. Trade is very important in context of ASEAN. Okay, right? Now, obviously, China also knows this. That is why China and ASEAN came together to create what? RCEP. EP. What is RCEP? Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. It's like a small trade agreement. Okay. So the bottom line is what? ASEAN is very important for trade. Okay. So now what are we trying to do? We are trying to take ASEAN closer towards India. Yes or no? We are trying to take ASEAN closer to India. We are giving a lot of importance to ASEAN. So whenever money flows, automatically trade relations will become better. Simple logic. So now come back to this article and we will see. So as you can see, Prime Minister Modi went to that ASEAN summit. He is talking about ASEAN importance for India, trade has to be improved, so on and so forth. No major takeaways. This is where things get interesting. If you look at the orange color line, the yellow, this part, we are telling ASEAN members that we are a more reliable and long-term strategic and economic partner without territorial ambitions. The term is targeted towards whom? China. Whenever you hear territorial ambitions, it means what? China. Okay. So simply put, we are telling ASEAN countries, you are all small nations. Okay. If you trust China too much, what will happen? China might occupy you tomorrow. China may not allow you to grow. But who is a better friend? India is a better friend. This is what India is trying to persuade the ASEAN grouping. Okay. That is all there is. And there is also one small problem with ASEAN-India trade, that is we import more than we export. Okay. That is one of the reasons why we didn't join RCEP among others. Okay. The thing is, India still doesn't have that kind of manufacturing capabilities to compete with ASEAN countries. Okay. Hardware manufacturing and all these things. So there is a small discrepancy between imports and exports. Okay. We have to compensate it elsewhere, but we have to keep friendship with ASEAN countries. So summary is, bottom line is what? ASEAN countries are very interested to improve their trade. It is our responsibility to pull them away from China and pull towards India. That is something you have to understand. Map. Look at the map of ASEAN. You will understand whatever I am saying. Indo-Pacific region. So today's keywords are what? Indo-Pacific region and ASEAN countries. And don't ignore such articles. Normally what do? People ignore such articles. India's forex reserves jump to become how much? Almost $600 billion. Is it important for UPSC? Why? Why is it important for UPSC? What are forex reserves? Foreign exchange reserves. Okay. Now basic prelims questions will come like, what components are there under foreign exchange reserve? For example, does RBI keep gold? Is gold considered as foreign exchange reserve? Yes. Is dollar considered as a foreign exchange reserve? Only dollars or yuan, Russian ruble, like this, they are also considered as foreign reserves. Okay. What are the components of foreign exchange reserve is a basic prelims question. Okay. Next, you can see in the article itself, they talk about gold reserves. Okay. As it's self-evident, right? Foreign currency assets are the maximum component of what? The entire foreign reserves. $600 billion are there. Within the $600 billion, $530 billion is in the format of foreign currency assets. That means we keep more money in the form of dollars and other currency. Next one is gold. Yes or no? Gold is having a lot of weightage. So there is no silver. Gold. Okay. Next. They also have special drawing rights. IMF reverse position, or what we call as reverse tranche. So like this, a simple prelims question can be answered. In the prelims, they will give statement. Statement 1. Maximum amount of India's forex reserve is in the gold. Yes or no? Correct only? What did I just tell you now? It's in the gold, a maximum amount of money. Fine, em rasindi. Foreign currency assets. That means dollars, yuan and all those things. Okay, that is number 1. 530 billion is in currency. How much is in gold? $44 billion is in gold. Okay, then you have special drawing rights. See, special drawing rights is a question of its own. What is or what are special drawing rights? Which institution is associated with special drawing rights? IMF. Okay. Next, if you want to go a little bit more advanced, questions will also come like this. Which currencies are under the special drawing rights basket? Okay, you need to know all these basics. This will be taught in your economy classes, but just I am giving you a hint. Okay, that special drawing rights will be there. Then what about this last one? Reverse tranche. This is also important. So from today onwards, you don't know any of the meaning of these things. But from today onwards, in the newspaper, if you see terms like foreign exchange reserve, gold, currency, currency swap, special drawing rights, IMF, reserve position, will you focus more or less? You have to focus more. Why? They are important because on the basis of previous year questions. Okay, not only this, in advanced levels, they will also be helpful for you in mains. Okay, let's imagine 1991. Do you know 1991 reforms? You must have heard about LPG reforms. 1991 liberalization, privatization, globalization, reforms happened. India opened its economy. You will hear all these things now. You know why it happened? Back then, our foreign reserves were so low that we were forced to open our market. So in 1991, India was almost in the position of begging the foreign reserves. In 2023, we have excess of how much? $600 billion. You understand the difference? How much India has moved from 1991 to 2023. Like this, you can also add value in your mains answer writing. Clear? So again, I am not explaining to you line by line because that will become economy class. But you are supposed to remember what are under foreign exchange reserve. Every month or every 2 months, such articles will come. That is a revision. Okay? Yeah. There is one more in Sunday article, no? Right. These are the articles that will get you extra marks in the essay and your overall thought process. Okay. So how many of you read this article? It's not there in Hyderabad edition. No, yes? No. Okay. Leda? Sunday haven't seen. You haven't seen or it's not there? You haven't seen. So Sunday's newspaper is also very important from UPSC perspective, and you will get more time now. Sunday no classes, you can happily read the newspapers. See, senior citizens or geriatric care is a huge problem in India. Geriatric care, that means people who are senior citizens. India is going to have more number of senior citizens. Okay, when senior citizens increase, right, that will be called as dependency ratio. Think about your grandfather. Once upon a time, he's the hero of the family, right? Why? He's working, making money and all those things. After a certain age, he will be sidelined. Yes or no? We respect him and all those things, but he doesn't have the same weightage. And unlike your parents, you don't daily talk to your grandparents, call them and all these things. So normally what happens is after a certain age, loneliness will increase, which will add to mental health issues. Loneliness of whom will increase? Senior citizens will increase. Okay, see, the partner will die, they will become even more lonely. After retirement, they don't know what to do. So like this, loneliness and mental health issue is a silent pandemic that is happening in the country. That is a silent pandemic. To solve that, in Kerala, one municipal commissioner has thought a innovative idea. That innovative idea is Badai Bazaar. That means they will set up a place where 20 to 25 people can come and sit together, and in the evening they will talk. Okay, what happens is, because they don't have anyone to talk to at the home, okay, they will all come here and start talking with each other. That will reduce their mental stress. That will help them to live longer. There is a concept called as ikigai in Japan. Ikigai in Japan. That concept says, I mean, in Japan, many people live up to the in a particular area 100 plus. Okay, they live up to the age of 100 or 90s. So some researcher asked, how can you live so long? Is it food? Is it water? What is the reason? Then they said it's all about social connections. If you have someone to talk to, if you have some social reason to live, okay, you will live longer. You will live healthily, right? So that is missing in India more or less. And this is a huge problem. Like this, every city, every village can also have some dedicated places for whom? Senior citizens. Without restricting them to their houses, they have to interact with the social life. So this is an innovative idea. You can use them in what? Social justice, social issues articles. Okay, so this is what adds value to your answers. Yes or no? Or else anybody can write. If I ask you casually, what should we do for the senior citizens? What will you say? Sir, we have to give them health support. We have to talk to them. Yes or no? All these things anybody can suggest without UPSC preparation also. But writing an example and showing your compassion is even more important. Yes or no? You are not doing it as a formality. You are actually understanding the problem of the senior citizens. Okay, forget senior citizens. Many of your age, our generation also have mental health issues. We actually don't have people to talk to. Yes or no? There is a recent global survey where they say even mad people don't know whom to talk to. That kind of loneliness have been prevailing in the society thanks to one device called as smartphones. Okay, our world is totally submerged in smartphones. Okay, that is why Japan, people are marrying robots. Okay, in Japan right now there is an issue. Many people at the age of 30, 40, they are not marrying. Okay, many youth, both men and women in Japan, are not at all marrying. Why? High education, high standard of living, they don't feel the necessity for marriage. Second thing, loneliness will slowly creep in. No, they come home, they will start talking to the Alexa or Google, Siri and all those things, and the robot will start listening to your problems. Okay, how was your day? Okay, my manager scolded me. Slowly this fellow will fall in love with the robot, and one fine day they will marry. Okay, I'm not at all making this stuff up. Go on Google, you'll find such articles, okay, where people are marrying robots. You understand the loneliness? Yes or no? Technology is supposed to be a instrument in making our life better. Technology is now becoming a exclusionary mechanism. You are cutting out from the world. Earlier, at least, when your salt is over, sugar is over, you will go to the neighbor, knock the door, uncle, auntie, we need oil, dal, gas cylinder. Some interaction used to be there. Now Swiggy. Yes or no? Yes. This is even more in urban areas. At least in rural areas, we still have some connections. Uncle, auntie, all these people will be there. But in cities, you don't need anyone. All this will only accelerate the problems of humankind. Okay, right? So like this, you can go on and on and on and add value. Okay, have you seen a movie called as Wall-E? WALLE, Wall-E. It's a Pixar based movie. It's an animation movie. Please try to watch that movie. How excessive dependency on technology will make humankind redundant. It's a beautiful movie. Right. We have discussed this already. Launch of global Biofuel Alliance. This is one of the progressive move that India is promoting along with International Solar Alliance and CDRI. I told you what is CDRI? Coalition for Disaster Resilient Initiative. Very good. Okay, nice. See, sometimes small articles like this will actually become prelims questions in the long run. So there is an article which says Odisha's Konark wheel takes center stage at G20 Avenue. So next time when you are reading your art and culture, make sure you focus excessively this year on what? Konark temple, the architecture, the sun temple and all those things. Even the tiny details will become a what? Mains question. Last time they have asked about what is the significance of ox, horse and all these things in Indian culture. This time they will ask what is the significance of sun in Indian architecture. Then you will have to start talking about Konark temple, other temples, Arsavelli, so many temples. We have always given significance to the sun. Sun is considered as the visible god in different cultures. Yes or no? So like this you can build on the mains value addition part. Okay. Again, same continuation of G20 I am not going to discuss, but looking at the headlines we have discussed more or less all the points, right? So financing climate change has been discussed. That means who should give money to whom? Developed countries should give money to developing countries. More women-led development we have discussed. Multi-developmental banks or multilateral development banks. So G20 is asking all these things. So that is why old articles doesn't have a lot of value. Yeah, this is the article that I was talking about. What? Data driven policy making. Do you remember the other day I was talking about data driven policy making, how midday meal scheme will help identify all those things? Okay, sorry, D4D. D4D, that is development for data for development. Exactly. So as the headline says, Education Ministry asks states to bring all data under one platform. In the initial days it will all look like a stupid idea. Okay, all progress will take some time. Now miracles don't happen overnight. Okay, now what is the most common complaint? Teachers will say, should we teach students or should we keep writing all this data? Yes or no? But as I said, when technology improves, one day all those things will become automated. All the student has to do is what? Press a biometric button. He will enter the class. Data will be uploaded in the cloud. He will go to the kitchen. He will press the button. Automatically data will upload in the cloud. It will not happen overnight, but it will happen one day. Okay. The advantage is every student will be accounted for, right? What are his problems? What are her problems? Okay, which subject is she or he weak in? Yes or no? I will give you a practical example. You are in 6th class. Okay, you are very weak in, let's say, maths. Okay, how many schools do you think actually identify that a student is weak in one subject and only groom him for that subject? They normally groom everybody. Yes or no? One size fits all approach. They won't give what? Tailor suited mechanisms. Yes or no? What we need is what? Tailor suited mechanisms. The problem with the country is we assume that it's your problem that you don't understand maths. The school will say, while 10 students are understanding maths, why are you not understanding maths? Okay, as the Tare Zameen Par movie shows, okay, a student might be dyslexic. He might have some mental health issues. We have to identify, talk to them and understand them. Instead of blaming them, we have to groom them. Okay, all those things will be possible with data in the long run. So that is probably what government is trying to consider. I don't know whether they have that kind of vision or not, but normally the data that government is expecting is PM Poshan midday meal scheme, teacher training, teacher textbooks, okay, attendance, all those small things in the school has to be uploaded. Okay, next, are you aware of this word called as API? Normally engineers are supposed to know this. What is API? What does it do? It builds a bridge between user and the application. One more way to frame it for layman is what? API is what? Apps interface. That is UX, no? User interface. What does API do normally? Active pharmaceutical ingredients. That is different API. Yes, agreed. See, that can be a prelims question also, right? Like generally speaking, what do APIs do? APIs automate data. Okay, API gives real-time updation of data. For example, your bank account has been, you have withdrawn 10,000 rupees from your ATM. Automatically, it will be reflected in your app or SMS will come. How does all these things happen? Through APIs behind the scene. Okay, APIs are like that real-time bridge. They will keep updating the data between the database and the user. Okay, so if everything is automated, automatically it will give more and more data. I have to write a simple program. Girls between the classes of 6th to 10th, how many of them are coming to the school every day in this particular district, in this particular mandal? Every day I have to get a SMS. So once all the data is filled, evening 5 the collector can get a SMS saying that in your district 20,000 girl child are there between the classes of 6th to 10th. Today only 10,000 came. That means absenteeism is 50%. For 1 week he sees that it is only 50%. Then he has to take some action. So like this, there are multiple advantages of what? Using technology. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to go again into the same article, but you understood, right? D4D is what? Data for development. First we will cover this article. Right. What should be done with the electronic waste? Why is e-waste such an important topic? Why should we discuss about it? What is e-waste? Electronic waste. What is the problem with electronic waste? Right. So we will learn two simple terms. One is virgin material. Virgin components are virgin materials. Okay. And the second term we will learn is circular economy. The second term we will learn is what? Circular economy. What is the difference between virgin material and circular economy? Circular economy is reusing the material. Waste to wealth is totally different. Okay. Just imagine you have an old phone. You have a old phone. Okay. It has semiconductors in it. Some gold, some lead, some titanium, some aluminum. There are so many materials. Right. All that material is not being recycled. Again, if I have to create a new phone, what will I do? I have to mine aluminum or other chemicals again from the earth and I have to create a new phone. Instead of that, what does circular economy encourages is circular. As the name says, it's circular. Reuse the old materials. Just yesterday, Apple had an event. Apple launched a new phone and a new watch. Okay. In that, they have announced that all the aluminum chassis, that is the framework that they use for the mobiles, is from 100% recycled aluminum. That is a perfect example of circular economy. Yes or no? Apple could have used 100% new aluminum, but it is using what? 100% recycled aluminum. Okay, recycled plastic. Even in the packaging, they are using recycled material. Okay, even the watch wrist will be there. No, for that the cloth material also they are using recycled parts. So the more you recycle the existing mechanisms, that will become what? Circular economy. Yes or no? Circular economy needs less new inputs, whereas normal economies where virgin material are used, okay, they need more new materials. Okay. So because that is the first reason, virgin materials and circular economy. Next one is e-waste is very, very dangerous when disposed improperly. E-waste is very, very dangerous when disposed improperly. What is the proper way? Recycle it. Okay, what is the improper way? Throw it in the garbage or burn it. When you burn plastic materials, what will happen? They will release toxics They will release deadly chemicals into the air. Not only that, they will spoil the soil, they will spoil the water. Like this, e-waste is very, very dangerous. As you can see in this article, I don't know if you have read this article or not. Did you? Right. In India, what is happening is 70% of recycling is done by informal sector. 70% of recycling is done by informal sector. That means it is not at all healthy, it is not at all properly disposed. See, I will tell you why go to smartphones, batteries, watch batteries, remote batteries. What do we normally do? We throw them in the dustbin. There are supposed to be 3 different color dustbins: dry waste, wet waste and recycle. Do we actually recycle in India? Have you seen recycle properly being done? Indoors. Indoor in Madhya Pradesh. No, I'm talking about our real life examples. In Hyderabad or in your personal life, do you see people disposing LED bulbs, batteries, old mobile phones in recycle bin? Very less. Yes or no? That is a problem. So what this article is saying, that we need proper recycling mechanisms so that we can extract all the chemicals from them and reuse it in circular economy. That itself is a good market. Yes or no? And there is a term called as greenwashing and eco-friendly. Greenwashing and eco-friendly. For example, I am very particular about nature. So yesterday Apple said that aluminum is 100% recycled. Not only that, their entire cycle from creation of the watch till distribution of the watch, okay, they are only using renewable energy. Okay, so Apple is projecting itself as a leader of green climate change or environmental friendly company. So if you are an environment lover, you will also buy Apple products. Okay, but some companies will use your weakness of protecting the nature and all those things, and they will say we are also planting trees, we are also recovering the water and all these things. In actual, they don't do. Okay, but they will act as if they are protecting the nature. Such thing is called as greenwashing. Such thing is called as greenwashing. Greenwashing means acting as if you are working for the nature or using it for the company's advantage. Okay, so this is greenwashing. What is eco-friendly material? Nature, sustainability and all these things. Okay, so companies should move towards what? Circular economies. That's the major theme. Okay, got my point? Why is it such a serious issue? This article also talks about that. Right. This article says a whooping $200 million, sorry, 200 million devices are laying waste in our households. So much amount of chemicals and minerals, all this can be extracted from the unused phones. See, in your homes, probably we have so many old phones, no? Your old phone, your father's old phone, your broken screen, like this emotional sentimental value, my first phone will save a lot of things. Okay, all these things are amounting to what? 200. See, I am also one of those persons. I still have my first phone, my first Tata Docomo phone. Okay, so the thing I'm trying to tell you is all those things can be recycled so that we are contributing to circular economy. Okay, here one more term we can learn is right to repair. Right to repair. What is right to repair? Right to repair. Okay, or you can also talk about modular phones. Modular phones and right to repair, two terms. Okay, first one is right to repair. Let's say I'm using a Samsung phone. Okay, next year Samsung will bring in a new phone saying that camera is better. Okay, our battery is better. I'm forced to change my entire phone rather than just change the camera or change the battery. Yes or no? That concept is called as modular. Modular. Okay, And sometimes companies, in the name of patents, IPRs and all these things, they don't allow or encourage repairs. If you have a problem, we will give you a new phone. Okay, but I love my phone, everything is fine, just some small problem is there. You should make the design so easy that only that part can be repaired. So this is right to repair movement. Recently Apple also accepted right to repair. So in America, governments are making laws forcing companies to promote right to repair. Okay, create products in such a way that they are easy to repair, so that people don't have to buy new phones, they will get the old phones repaired. Or else you are forcing people to buy what? New phones. That is unnecessary wastage or not? Yes or no? That is one thing. Second thing, modular phones. What is modular designs? I don't like camera, I will go to the showroom, remove the camera, put the new camera, everything else is same. I don't have to change the entire phone for one thing. So that is what people change. No, people change phones. Why? Or a new camera came, more battery came. So like this, we have to bring right to repair and modular economy. Clear? Yes. All these are subcomponents of circular economy. Okay. Next. This article is by Suhasini Haidar. We have discussed almost all the points in that article. ASEAN article we have covered. In today's Hindu, have you anyone noticed any article? What article? Something that we have discussed yesterday in the class related to that Dalit cook. Is there in today's Hindu? No? Yesterday we discussed about the Dalit cook not, students not eating. So what did I say? One of the solution is district magistrate should go there and eat. Today what happened? Minister plus district magistrate, both of them went to that place and had the food. So yesterday's news today. We discussed what will come in today's paper yesterday only. If you think about it. Okay? Stop taking calamity. Okay, this article is about climate change targets and climate change problems. So for you to understand this article, you need to understand one simple thing. Again, I will tell you in very layman and general terms, not in complicated terms. Try to please understand that. Let's imagine we are in 1850. We are in which year? 1850. If I calculate the entire temperature of the earth, not one place, not Himalayas, not one village or something, the entire planet's temperature is what? Let's say 20 degrees. Overall global temperature is how much? 20 degrees. Okay. This is called as pre-industrial era. This is called as pre-industrial era. The third revolution, the third industrial revolution started around in 1850s, right? So from 1815 onwards, we have started using more fossil fuels and all those things. Industrial era. Carbon dioxide overall, we call it as ppm per million. Okay, it's around 200 250 something like that. So overall its carbon dioxide is around 200 something in 1850s. Like this, the planet was very healthy and all those things. Slowly humans started burning fossil fuels. Okay, slowly the temperature started increasing. In 2019, okay, or forget about the years. Basically, we have two agreements. One is Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement, the world agreed we will not increase the temperature of the world more than 2 degrees. Paris Agreement is about 2 degrees. Okay, that means how much? From 22, it should not become 22 degrees. The world average temperature should not become what? 22 degrees. This is what Paris Agreement says. But immediately after Paris Agreement, there is one more report called as IPCC report, Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change. Okay, they said forget about 2, 1.5 itself is a disaster. That means if the world temperature becomes 21.5 also, khatam, ice age will come, cyclones will increase, floods will increase, glaciers will melt, Himalayas will melt, like this all 2024 Pralayam, all those movies will be there, no? Like this it will happen. Okay, world will end more or less. That is a warning. So maximum target is 2 degrees. Reports are saying 1.5 degrees. Unfortunately, we are already at 1.1. We are already at 1.1. That means we only have gap of 0.4 degrees. Okay, 0.4 degrees. You understand the point, right? Sir, yesterday it was 39, today is 43, already 4 degrees increase. No, that is not the logic here. The logic is for entire planet. I hope you understand, right? Okay, so don't go by extra genius logics. Understand the concept. Next, when people calculated how much will we increase by going by the present lifestyles. America is living like America, Indians are living like Indians, fossil fuels, cars, petrols, AC, everybody is using everything. Yes or no? So if we give a smart supercomputer and ask it to project how much will we increase the temperature, it is saying you fools will not stop unless it's around 3 to 4 degrees. That means the present day the world consumption is how much? We are going to reach 3 to 4 degrees in comparison to pre-industrial era. I hope you understand, right? That means in 1850 it's 20. One day we will reach 23 or 24. And the report is warning us to stop at what? 1.5. So guarantee the planet will not survive. Okay. So I am giving you the seriousness. Okay. The world is not taking the climate change seriously. We are all doing promises like Baba's, it will happen, I will give you money, you will get IAS first rank, don't worry. All the promises have been made. But action also has to be done. No, action has to be done. Promises has to be made. Okay. Going by that calculations, you will understand this article very nicely. Okay. The world has promised that we will go net zero. Net zero. That means developed countries will stop becoming polluting countries and all those things. In 2070, India will also become carbon neutral country. Like this we are promising. But to do all these things, we need what? Money. How much money? So much money. For example, before this entire G20 drama, the developed countries promised the developing countries, every year we will give you $100 billion. Every year how much money will be given? $100 billion. Not a single year they kept that promise. Okay. Right now in G20 we are estimating that sometimes we might need $4 trillion per year. Just imagine the numbers. 100 billion they are not giving. Now the amount is estimated to be around $4 trillion. Okay. Do you think it's all these things are possible? Doom is possible? Probably doom is much more possible. Okay. This paragraph now starts making sense to you. The G20 leaders' declarations formally recognized the need for 5.8 to 5.9 trillion dollars in the pre-2030 period for developing countries. You understand the numbers, right? I'm finding it very funny. Why? Because Indian economy is $3 trillion. Indian economy size is $3 trillion. The article is saying, the G20 communique is saying that we have to give trillions and trillions of dollars to whom? Developing countries to achieve what goals? Zero emissions by 2050. Okay, and from today till 2030, if we pump so much amount of money in the planet, okay, that is when we will become carbon neutral. Okay. If I go and ask America tomorrow, you are supposed to give me money. Who are you? Yes or no? I don't remember you. Yes. Trust me. I don't know whether you will be in UPSC in the long run or not. I hope you will get selected by that time. G20 happens in Brazil next time. Okay. You will hear a very similarly sounding communique with similar targets. Okay. Nothing will change in the grassroots level. Okay, because nobody prefers to give up their comfort zone. Nobody wants to change their lifestyle. The biggest problem in the planet is not money. The problem is people's behavior. Changing people's behavior is the biggest problem. An American taxpayer will ask, why should I give money to somebody in Vietnam or in African countries? Okay, why should I compromise for somebody? Yes or no? We forget that we are a product of so many people. America will say, I am a smart person, I built American great nation. Where did money come to America? Yes or no? So people forget that all the development in America is caused or is a outcome of all this fossil fuel burning. You used so much fuel that is when you became powerful. Yes or no? Yes. Hmm. Today, for example, I will tell classes also, coaching center. If you don't use ACs, this institute doesn't even have ACs. Nobody will think it as eco-friendly. They will blame that you are inefficient. Everybody needs luxury. Fan, AC, cooler, everybody needs everything. Okay, but nobody wants to compromise for the planet. So why should I compromise? When the sea level rises, when the Goa sinks, all these monsoons will become erratic. That is when you will understand climate change is something that cannot be controlled. It's a global problem. Okay. So I'm not putting fear in your mind. I'm just saying you the reality that is a huge amount of money we are expecting from developed nations to developing countries. So at least what we can do, we can move towards electric vehicles, plant more trees. The basic things we can do. Yes, that's all. Okay, so that is a major takeaway from this article. Pumping of money for change. Next. Have you noticed this keyword? Secure and fair. Dark patterns. What are dark patterns? The keyword is dark patterns. Okay. Government of India is taking steps to control dark patterns. What are dark patterns? They are questionable or unethical or immoral practices employed by e-commerce companies to make you buy products. The simple example is, let's say you go to buy a watch. You like that watch very much. Okay. Besides that watch, it will be written only 2 left in stock. Hurry. Okay. The product might go out of stock. It can be genuine. It can be fake. Yes or no? That is creation of artificial scarcity. Yes or no? You have 100 watch in your godown, but you have written how much? Only 2 in stock. So a consumer will feel, I have to buy immediately, or else somebody else will buy. You created what? Artificial scarcity. So such things are called as dark patterns. Okay, or else just like some food companies, I don't want to name. If you see the food item 100 rupees, but when you go to the payment page, it will be 180 rupees. Where did the extra 83 rupees came from? Convenience fees, platform fees, packaging charges, GST, this, that. But if you show me 183 rupees in home page, will I even open that idli? For 2 idli, I have to pay 183 rupees. In the home page, you have shown me 80 rupees. Bill 180 rupees. All these are dark patterns. Okay, like this you can imagine how e-commerce companies try to fool the customer. Yes or no? So there are 10 to 12 varieties. Even in PIB website also you can find all the kinds of dark patterns. You don't have to remember them, but you understand what is dark pattern. E-commerce websites will plan ideas, behavioral changes slowly so that customer will be forced to buy things. Okay, government of India got very serious on protecting the customers' rights, consumer rights. So they have given warning to all the e-commerce companies, but don't do such activities. Do ethical businesses, corporate governance. Okay, so that is the summary of that article more or less. So next time when you hear the term dark patterns, at least remember e-commerce websites misusing consumers' trust. Okay. So according to Advertising Standard Council of India, around 50% of the e-commerce websites have used dark patterns to sell their products. So that is widely prevalent. It's prevalent in almost all websites. Okay, so we should not encourage what? Dark patterns. Who is the best person to control that? Government of India. Clear? Yes. So as the conclusion says, if government can create a healthy ecosystem, what will happen? More and more people will find it's trustworthy to buy products from online markets. It will create a proper healthy ecosystem. Got my point? Okay. See, these two articles are not at all worth for UPSC, but you can read them for the sake of understanding. See, Ram Mohan Reddy, he used to be the editor for EPW magazine. Okay, he's considered as a great guy. He has his own visions on how government is trying to bring one nation, one elections, one nation, one everything. Heterogeneousness is DNA of India. There is so much amount of diversity. Our love for India is probably common for everyone, but again we are all different. We cannot have one nation, one anything except love for India. The diversity is what makes India beautiful. The more we try to make it homogeneous, it may or may not work in the long run. For example, he cites language and religion are the two major projects that certain sections of the society are trying to do. That is creation of Hindu Rashtra. That means India should be for Hindus. Okay, Hindu Rashtra. That is one thought process. Next one is imposition of Hindi. One nation, one language. Hindi should be common language for all. These are the two projects that people have in mind: religion and language. In reality, it may or may not happen. Okay. It should not happen because there is something called as Constitution of India. This article is about religious extremism. It's not worth your time to understand right now, but simply understand this. As I was saying yesterday also, every religion will have multiple interpretations. Yes or no? Islam also have a problem of multiple interpretations. Terrorists, these radical groups have a different interpretation from the moderates or liberals. So Islam should be interpreted as it is rather than not as I want it to be. Okay. So if more radicals are preaching radical Islam, Islam will be considered as a radical religion. That is a threat to Islam itself. Yes or no? So that is why he says we should sit down, discuss and finalize a proper version. We should not encourage extreme elements. This is the summary. Okay. Yes, we'll continue tomorrow. 1 or 2 articles left. 10th and 11th newspaper. Okay. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.